Hello, this is Thomas Dakar-Tarik-Maro, Senior English into French translator and author of the book titled De la sémantique à la traduction, une approche sémantico-morphosyntaxique de la traduction. In this video, we are going to discuss which language we have to translate into. In other words, which direction we have to translate into. You know, translation involves several languages. We have language A, which is the native language, the language that we speak from birth. Once we come to this world, the language that we start speaking, the language we speak at home, the language we speak at school, the language that we use for our instruction. This is language A. We have language B, which we may not use very frequently. And we also have language C. We can even have language D, depending on where we are living. So there may be many languages that we can speak. So all depends on where you are, which part of the world you find yourself in, what are the languages which are available to you. So there is no problem concerning how many languages you can speak. But the problem here is how many languages you can translate from and to. And to answer this question, we have to know that translation should be done into our native language. Usually, the native language, as we put it, is the mother tongue, that is the language that we master most. And interestingly, it is almost impossible to handle two languages the same way, to master two languages the same way. That is why to me, there is no perfect bilingualism, because you can speak two languages, you can speak three languages, you can speak four languages, but out of the three or the four, there is one language which you master the most. There is always one language which you master the most, and this is the language which you speak regularly. This is the language which you use regularly. This is the language which you've learned from birth, because this is something which a language which you really master. So speaking a language is not tantamount to mastering that language. And when it comes to translation, I think we have to be very careful, because if you speak three languages, you necessarily makes error when speaking these languages. And when it comes to translation, you have to make sure that there is no error in your language, that you must use the language without making errors. And that is why most of translation school will tell you that a student translator or a professional translator should be translating into their native language. Why? Because there are a number of subtleties which you may think that you master, but actually which you ignore when it comes to language. The first thing is that you have to master the grammar of the language. And the grammar of the language which you master the most is usually your mother tongue, because this is the language which you speak, we can even say which you master unconsciously, because you learn it at home in an unofficial environment, in an official setting, and most importantly, in a formal setting, that is at school, at university. So it is relevant to bear this in mind. Why? Because when it comes to translation, which has to do with bilingual drafting, Why do we say bilingual drafting? Because there is a difference between monolingual drafting and bilingual drafting. When you have to sit down and write and provide a passage on your mother tongue, you don't go under, you don't have any influence. There's nothing which can actually impact the way you think, the way you write, your vocabulary, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to bilingual drafting, which is translation, obviously the source text has a direct bearing on the translator or on the speaker mind. In other words, the source text is a kind of sword of Damocles which uh, which influences the which weight on the speaker or the translator. So for us to be able to produce high quality translation, we have to translate into our A language, because it is the language that we master most. It is the language that we can easily, it is a language where we can easily spot inconsistencies and error. If you take, for instance, English language, you will see that there is a specific way of using some preposition. If we say in English, what do we say? Do we say to succeed or to succeed in? And you will see that we say to succeed in with a gerund. We are going to say she is used to getting up early, instead of she is used to get up early. We are going to say we do drills. Are we going to say we do drills twice a week, or we make drills twice a week? You are going to see that we say we do drills. We don't make drills, we do drills. Do we say, for instance, uh, to say the truth, or to speak the truth, or to tell the truth? You are going to say to tell the truth instead of to say the truth. So there are a number of subtleties which we cannot master concerning language B. So it is better to translate into our A language, which is the language that we have mastered. We can say that we master unconsciously. When you have to compare English and French, for instance, when we say in French, il a beaucoup plu, some will think that because we say in English, beaucoup is a lot, then we are going to say it rained a lot. However, this is not the case, because natural English will say it rained hard or it rained heavily. So these are some of the things that we think that we master. However, we don't master them. So when it comes to translation, it is advisable, or we recommend, to translate into the A language. Although there is artificial intelligence, which with tools like ChatGPT and others, which can help translator to translate in their B language, this is not a good decision, because translation has to do with message, and the message has to, when we talk about message, we look at how this message is formulated. If there are errors in the formulation, then the translation will not be acceptable. We may translate, we will give the message, but the form will not abide by appropriate rule. There will always be error which we may not be able to spot, and which the machine engine may not be able to spot. That is why, as we know it, Even with artificial intelligence, human human should be should command. So human should have the last word to say. And for us to have the last word to say, you have to master the language that you are using. So to avoid all these issues, it is better to translate into one's native language. This is how you can easily achieve high quality translation and sound natural in translation. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any comment, please do not forget to leave your comment and also subscribe to my channel and share. Thank you very much for watching.